Sergio, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Novak. How are
What
you
have,
feeling? What are we talking about? Yeah, we don't need to work.
everyone survived after Melbourne Cup out there, I hope. Big night, little night. What are we talking about today?
Pink lights. Do they sell property? And what are we talking about?
They can't possibly sell property, can they? The reason we want to talk about this today, guys, is we met hundreds of real estate agents yesterday at a Melbourne Cup function, Manly Pavilion, yesterday, and at the it was how good was it?
Yeah, on the water. Manly's a beautiful place. I think we live so close to it, but we don't get to see it all the time. So it was good to sort of have a beautiful meal in a beautiful area. And I reckon they could definitely, I don't know, Manly's coming a long way. I think there's some big plans for Manly in that pavilion area as well. It's just like such a beautiful spot. I love it.
Yeah. So for anyone who hasn't been to Manly Pavilion, as you're coming in on your ferry towards Manly, on your far left, there's a beautiful old building, the Waterworks, and there's the Manly Pav. If you want to go somewhere for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, that is just a terrific place to go. There was, big function, but yeah, what an amazing place. But the common denominator that a lot of things that people spoke about with us yesterday that I wanted to share with everyone today was our pink lights that we use for marketing. So for anyone who's out of the northern beaches, what do we do, Michael?
Yeah, so any vacant property of commercial, even if it's tenanted, if we come to that arrangement, we put these pink floodlights, they're probably, where is the camera? About the size of my head, into the property, 5 of them, sometimes 10, as many as we can, as many as we need to get the exposure for that property. So basically the ethos was you're driving down Pittwater Road at night time. Good morning, Jeff. And all shops are off. Everything's basically dark. It's just you may have the street lights, but nothing's seen, let alone being able to see a for lease sign in the shop front. So the idea, the concept was, Mark's concept, well done, was to...
I got the plug, yeah.
Was to put these lights in the shop. So if you're driving down Pittwater Road and you'll just see this pink light, it's a Novak property, it's for lease. No, even before that, now people do. Now they do because they've seen so many. But before you'd be like, shit, what's that pink light? And you'd look and then you see it's for lease. You go, maybe someone's going in there. Then you see it again. Then you start seeing it and then you're seeing it every 20 shops, the next 20 shops, all for lease, all that pink light. Therefore, it starts to bring that sort of pattern in that whenever you see the pink lights, there's a property there for lease. And it's just creating distraction, marketing, people looking at a property that they may normally miss driving home at night. Because let's face it, you're driving home, you focus on getting home, you're not necessarily looking at all the shop fronts, and it's dark. You can't see it. So, Mark, how does that sell a property? Does it?
Absolutely. But there's so many other senses to the common one that we've always thought about is like you've got is it 7 senses? You've got smell, you've got sight, you've got hearing, you've got temperature. You've got so many different ways of getting people's attention because of these 7 senses. And then we just wanted to appeal.
Here it is, 7 senses: sight, smell, taste, hearing, touch, visible, whatever that is, and 2 other words.
Touch. What are the other one? What are the other 2?
I'll put them in the comments.
The 7 senses. So with when we were looking at what we're doing, we just really couldn't work out why, and where it all started was why people wouldn't leave lights on in a property, because the cost of electricity versus the cost of marketing was just so low. So we're like, hang on a sec, why don't we have at any one time, our company has 120 for lease commercial properties. Majority of them these days, because it's the nature of commercial, a lot of them are vacant, which don't be scared about that, guys. We're the number 1 operator in the area, and we have a big market share. So that's sort of pretty normal for the beaches. It's been like that for 20, 30 years, those sort of numbers of vacant properties. But we couldn't work out why, if it's on a main road, why wouldn't we just flick the light switches on and light up those shops? And that's when we took that next step with pink lights, and moving that to pink lights. People just not only did it get their attention because lights were on where the lights were always off, but then they're a colour, which mate, they've been tremendously successful. How do they sell is the question you asked, Michael. How do they actually sell is getting people's attention towards a property is a positive thing. We're vying for people's attention all the time in business. Whatever you're selling, you want someone's attention. Now, what they do with that attention is the next thing, whether they move that towards a purchase, whether they gather information from that, but getting their attention is a super hard thing. That's what those pink lights are doing.
And at the end of the day, it was I wouldn't say it was easy to implement. You always get the pushback, and I think that's why, like, where people are like, do you need it? Is it necessary? You'd be surprised. We even get neighbours complaining that they can't sleep. And so what's the difference between a normal shop light being on without the pink? So if you're I know there's a couple of agents on here, you will get pushback.
Oh yeah, even the type of lights we ended up buying the lights out of China. The pink lights, we bought them out of China off eBay, and first the order started with 5 lights, then the order started with 10 lights, then the order was like 30 lights, then the order was 100 lights, then the order was 200 lights, and then there was we're worried the lights were going to get stolen, but I think it's one of those things that you start something new, you're never going to pioneer it up front. What's the famous Chinese Toyota general manager of Toyota? Gradual improvement is better than delayed perfection. Yeah. So with these lights, we just kept getting sort of better at it, Michael?
100%. It kept getting better location, brighter. We started putting more in there, and then you just started people talking about it, going, I saw the pink lights, and it's just sort of a part of it, and it's working because I've had properties where the person called because they go, I saw it at night time, the pink shop, is that a shop or this? And it just works. So I think it's always going to stay. Like a real estate agent, you've got all these tools to market a property. Like we're media agencies, we're marketers, like you've got photos, floor plans, 360s, signage, now Facebook, now we've got pink lights. It's just another tool in our arsenal to how we market properties. And I know DY, we've got 70% market share for properties leased and sold. So, and if you drive through DY, you look at the combination of window signage with pink lights. It just all goes hand in hand. So it's necessary. And again, it's one of those things. If you've got 5 shops vacant next to each other, if the other 4 have their lights off, we're having our lights on. It's that simple theory throughout everything we do.
And you know what amazes me? It amazes me how much people celebrate it and congratulate us and go, that's a great idea. That's cool. I love that because we don't, you know that we're not crazy. We know that we're not crazy. But what gets me is how many people won't actually do it. So we are, and correct me if I'm wrong, we are the only real estate agency in Australia that is lighting up all of their commercial properties in hot pink.
Yeah.
Well,
we're doing it in general. There may be a couple others who are on 1 or 2 properties turn the lights on that I've only just started doing that, but no one.
Not even that.
It's big to be first to market. I was chatting with Domino's do it really well. I was chatting with one of the local guys who owns a few around here, and first to market for something is huge. Like they did the GPS tracker, even though there's always flaws or things you can do, being known as first to market all the time. And that's what we love to do. And then you can just perfect it. But then you just, as you said, you're surprised how many people don't copy it after.
Do you know what, Michael? When people are consuming our services, that the pink light, the hot pink lights in commercial property is one thing, but it's the ethos of the real estate agency that it's actually saying. So, again, I'll go back to, there's no other commercial agency in the country that are lighting buildings up, are using light to promote properties for lease and properties for sale, right? No one. And finding the tenant is, as a result of that, is great. Leasing or selling the property as a result of that is great. But what I love is that the message out there for all the people that are not doing business with us is these guys are going harder, smarter. They're thought leaders. That's the person that I want to employ when I sell my property. That's the person that I want to employ when I'm leasing my property. It almost brings fun and to the business, where people go, you guys are fucking nuts. That is so cool. I would do that if I was a real estate agency. That is, you guys aren't, I laugh when they say brave, because I don't think it is, but it's having to go. And I think that when people use Michael Bergio, when they know that guy stands for, window wraps, billboards, hot pink lights, hard worker, super social media, and they are employing that whole spectrum of services.
100%. And I think, is there anything else you want to add? But also, just before we wrap it up, that's a message and an ethos that I know there's a lot of people who watch who may not be a real estate agent, but that type of thinking is what you can try. We would love you to implement in your business. What can you do that no one else is doing that will stand out, that your consumer will be then thinking, oh, why doesn't every coffee shop do this? They're the only ones. I love it. They're good. They're doing something different. So I think that's a big message. Pink lights is how we do it in real estate. But have a thought to yourself and how you can do it in your business. Because at the end of the day, we're always all selling something or selling a service or what we do. So it's a good way to show that you're different from the others.
And look, I had a complete copy of our office. Someone has just replicated the Novak office. As in, if you looked at it, you're like, what the fuck? That is, and I don't understand. Two things there. This is a dead set fucking copy. You look at it and you go, what the fuck? That's one. And I do have to admit, I love it. I think it's cool. I actually help the guys do it as well. But what gets me, and with these pink lights that we're talking about today, putting hot pink lights in all of our commercial properties for lease, hundreds of properties have big hot pink lights. It turns heads. What gets me is just why people don't just replicate it.
Yeah, I know, you'd be in two minds. I was thinking that then going, we're sitting here going, why don't they just copy? And then when they do, you're like, fuckers, why are you copying us? But straight up, that's what will go through the head. But what I love about that is it will push us or push you, as in whatever anyone does, when
well said,
to do something next. What's next?
Well said. Well said.
Now that's the normal. Great. The industry has come up a level. Now we're going here. Then we go up a level again. So,
and you know what a really good example of that is? I love my cars. It's cars. You know what I mean? Though this cat, I think Daimler came up with airbags, right? Everyone copied the airbag, and as a result, it's a safer drive. I love a copy. And I think people don't copy enough a good idea because they think they don't want to be seen as copying. I think they don't want to be. That's maybe the biggest thing. Maybe they've been poo-pooing the idea, and suddenly the idea ended up getting embraced by the marketplace, so they can't copy it any longer. But I think that a good copy is not a bad thing. And then if you can do that enough, you can go past that point, and then you can actually start being a pioneer. But I think in order to catch up, a good copy is a good thing. A good copy is a good thing.
And here, if any competitors ever did anything that I would want to copy, or I saw impressive, I would copy, and you just do it better. So that's the end of the day. Just do it
You
better.
put your twist on it. I saw our 360s. We've been doing 360 videos for our properties for 2 years now, for commercial properties, all commercial properties. And I've just seen someone saying, "Oh, we do now 360." I'm like, "Fucking great, that's cool." You know what I mean? Rich to you guys. Well done. We were first to market. Hey, we were first to market. We're not crazy. It's official. It's a good idea that we adopted. It's official. And then after that, guess what? The consumer's the winner. Like the airbags in a car, and everyone does them.
I like that one. That's good.
Yeah.
If consumers are getting better service, better quality, there's nothing wrong with it. Anything else you want to add there, Mark? No. Okay, perfect. All good there.
No, we got celebrity here. We got social media royalty.
Hi guys. Good morning.
We can't see. I can hear something though. You got your background.
You can hear, but you can't see.
It's there you go.
Hello.
Are you on Insta?
Good.
Oh yeah, I wasn't even looking on it. So I was looking.
I can't hear. I read something about pink lights.
Lisa can't hear, but she can see.
Hello. Good morning.
Now you're in New York. All right, Facebook can see. Oh.
What are we talking about, guys?
Copy.
This is mine and Mark's thing. Sorry, you're not allowed in this.
What are we talking about this morning?
We're about pink lights, marketing.
Oh, this is right up my alley.
Copying.
And what is it?
Copying.
It's very echo. What have you done, Mark?
Yeah, we got some bad feedback happening here, guys.
This is like voice pop. Wow.
Oh my God.
We're going to go. See ya.
Alrighty, guys. Let's maybe pick guest host next time. Alrighty, guys. Bye.
Bye. See ya.